Kia ora. So another elegant speech video, hot off the heels of the last one. So we'll keep the preamble to a minimum. If you want to know the context of this series, check the previous video on the elegant speech series. Nobody ever wants I'm the only one in the wants context for things. I think I like context. I like to know where things fit and where they relate to other things, where they belong, where they came from. But there we go, that's just me. So, this isn't a kind of a... this one I want to talk about today isn't, like a black and white, this isn't like a kind of cardinal sin, avoid this at all costs. It's more something to think about, really. I think it's quite interesting. It's a kind of a philosophical kind of element to this, really. So when people talk about, I would use the word soil or earth, okay, but people often use the word dirt, okay. So I might use the word dirt in a kind of in a specific way. It's like hit the dirt or digging in the dirt or something. I might use it when I want to convey a particular meaning or create a different a specific kind of mood or atmosphere. But it's interesting, isn't it, that we equate soil and earth with dirt, because it's like it comes from like children getting muddy or playing in the garden and you're covered in dirt, but actually, I think in terms of our relationship with the planet and how we see ourselves connected to nature, the fact that we see soil, which is where all our food comes from, where everything grows, it's the skin of Mother Earth, if you like. We actually equate that with something that's, dirt, and you think of all the kind of the connotations of dirt, filthy, disgusting, contamination, unclean, bad, all those kinds of things. So just something to think about, really. And we'll bang in another one as well, really, which is kind of similar, really, is and again, there's a kind of a philosophical. I think words are important. Words shape the way that we think, and we don't really notice the way that we think, but it has a huge bearing on things. So, guard the gates to your mind, as a wise man once said. So, the word floor. People often will use the word floor to describe what they walk on, what's below them, when they're outside. But that's the ground. Okay, that's not the floor. Floor is a very anthropocentric kind of way of looking at the ground, because floor is what you have in a house or a building. It's for a purpose. It's there to kind of, generally speaking, serve human beings. The ground, is interesting. Why do we think that it's the floor? Because we kind of think that it's there for us to walk on, but is it? Apparently, one of the key signs of a highly I was getting the word self-actualized and self-realized mixed up. Self-actualized person is that they become far less anthropocentric than your average human. So anthropocentric is where we see everything as relating to us as human beings, and we see our needs as a species as the be all and end all, not seeing ourselves as one species of many that arguably has no more or less rights than any other creature on the planet. So we see everything in terms of whether it's good or bad for us. So if that wasps are bad because they sting us and they don't make honey or chutney or anything good that we like. So anyway, it feels like I went off on a tangent there, but it's not really. That's the essence of what I want to talk about, because one of the reasons why elegant and accurate speech, I think, is important, because it does shape how we think, how we see people. So, for example, war atrocities are easier to carry out if you dehumanise the people that you're inflicting the atrocities upon. So how we think in all these kind of subtle ways is important. So if we think of soil or earth, earth is an interesting word, because that's the name of the planet and the name of the soil. As dirt, and we think of the ground as floor, then we're going to see ourselves as detached from the world, and the world as just being something that's there for our own interests, for us to exploit and ransack as we will. Maybe have I gone too far? Am I kind of making too much of all these things? No. It's important, it's important to think. So there we go. Hope that was interesting. Rangimarie.